Hello, my wonderful creative collective. This is a new spread that we're trying. Also, first and foremost, this is Into Infinite. I'm Charlie, and I'm so grateful that you're here. This is a new spread that I'm trying, and I thought I wanted to put some timeless readings on this page, and to offer some timeless guidance for the creative collective. So we're doing it. This is called the burning question spread. So I thought about a bunch of different questions that we could put together here, and that I could work with spirit on guidance regarding, to really help you on your journey and in whatever ways this information shows up for you. I was very excited about the idea when it came to me at the wonderful hour of 3 o'clock in the morning. Which is the magic hour for good ideas, right? Between that and the shower, they both, like those two places, all the ideas. But nonetheless, we're going to jump in. So I'm going to do a sign by sign breakdown. This first burning question is, where is my creative inspiration hiding? What? Right? It's such a good question. And we might think like, well, if I don't know, like I should know this. And we might. But I thought this would be a really neat way to let spirit kind of weave its way through questions that we have or that are common to creative journeys. And this, again, creativity can also mean love, right? So here we go. I would like to invite my angels, guardian angels, my spirit guides, protectors, teachers, and their healing energy to this space. And I ask that it is a safe space that allows for the fullest expression of our light, humanity, ascension, and healing. Okay, Aries, let's do this. I don't know if you can hear the crinkling in the background, but my cat has this owl that crinkles when you touch it. So you may hear my darling Eva kind of having a great morning playing with her toy. Spirit, can I please get some guidance here for my Aries collective on their burning question? Where is my creative inspiration hiding? Thanks so much, Spirit. And I'm starting this off with the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle by Kelly Sullivan Walden. Beautiful deck that I happen to love. So, from fear to fuel. Stand still and own your power. Yeah, you do. From fear to fuel. Man, that looks like some light 222 just on the time. That looks like some light infused root chakra healing right there. Okay, and I'm going to use the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, if I can get it here. There we go. Of course I can get it. Spirit, can I get some guidance for my Aries collective, my Aries creative collective on this burning question on where their inspiration is hiding? Some clarification as we go through this spread, please. So I kind of see this from fear to fuel is kind of where you are. That's where your energy's at. Let me just move this out of the way here. Yeah. Now all of you know that I use Cetaphil for lotion. In that bottom corner, at least, if you were looking. Spirit, can I get some guidance here for Aries? Thank you so much. All right. Right. One more. Okay. So I'm seeing that the way that you're kind of progressing through this inspiration or search for inspiration, I feel like the details of your question, like you're feeling kind of, I want to say a bit burdened by it, right? You're a bit burdened by, and kind of burdened just meaning like impatient. Like there's a way that you're carrying this question that's leaving you feeling a little bit hard done to. Not quite five of Pentacles or Five of Cups, but like Seven of Pentacles. This, I look at it as like you've put in so much work, and you're kind of wondering like, where's my stuff now? Like, where's the good stuff? I was promised the things, right? Where are they? And I get the impression that you're sort of beginning to work through this, Sorry, let me just turn this here so you can see more of that. Will it work? Let me not set things on fire because I have candles. Okay, there we go. So there are ways that you are feeling a bit put out, and I think that you're really wanting the easy answer. Like so this judgment is Pluto energy, which is anything but easy. Like Pluto energy is transformation. It's kind of in it for the long haul, right? Like we think about Pluto returns and how often it takes Pluto to go around, right? Like it's a long-term thing. And I think that this is the reality, is that it is just a Pluto thing, but you're wanting this like instant download about it. And I think that you really need to release the easy route. Like I think that there's like an easy way that you're expecting or hoping for, and I think that releasing that is what's going to really guide you to this sort of impassioned path forward. You know, I almost get the impression that like this is your internal feeling. It's like connecting like this a little bit for me. Like this is your internal feeling, and then the Queen of Swords is like, "Yep, allons-y, we go. Now we're doing this." And for those those of you watching who are American, allons-y just means like let's go. Like ALLONZ-Y, I think is how it's spelled, allons-y, and you just go. Like that's like we're doing this. And I think if the Ace of Wands had a sound, it would be like that. So I think that you're understanding that like once you let go of this feeling like it has to be easy, or like it's almost like there's a resistance because you want it to be easy, and it's easier than you think, but the approach that you're taking to something that you're working on or love or something along those lines, Aries, is really kind of screwing with your ability to receive it. And I think that as soon as you let that go, and learn that it doesn't have to be that way, you're better able to channel both inspiration. You're able to channel what you want to do and what you want, your desire, into a path forward. Can I just get some clarification, Spirit, on this path forward here? I'm going to use the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann to clarify this, because I almost feel like there's a story that needs to be told here. The storyteller in me, my Gemini, is like, yes, let's go. The Gemini on my chart. But I feel like the Queen of Swords is like, there's a whole story unfolding here. So just so that you see what I see, it's like this, and then this whole space is empty. So it's almost like I want to find out what journey Spirit's compelling us to take here. Spirit, can you please clarify more of this burning question from our wonderful Aries crew? Thank you so much. 2. Okay, so Six of Swords and King of Pentacles. Interesting. Definitely echoing this energy here, right? It's like you're expecting it to be one way, and it's like you're seeing the reflection of how the impact that is having on your energy, right? Imagine that this is the ability for you to receive, but also the ability for you to give as well, right? And I think that this is kind of binding you in ways that you may not have expected. You could have expected it, I'm not sure. But I think that when you really start to see this here, this is the clarity, and it allows you to step into this King of Pentacles place where you are decisive. There's an emotional maturity that informs what you're giving to and what you value and what's important to you, right? Like it's this very steady energy that is Knight of Pentacles on the bottom. And I feel like it's informing things in a way that I don't think you expect. Like I don't see the Tower here, but the Pluto energy of judgment is like like the beta version of the Tower in a way, the way it's coming through here. Spirit, can I just get some more clarification from my Aries creative collective here for their burning question? Whoa. Yeah, 10 of Wands. Not shocked. The Moon, Chariot, and 10 of Wands. So yeah. That's like things that you can't really see. Yeah, this is again, it's not quite the Tower, but I feel like it's Tower-esque energy. Like if the Tower had like a BFF, I feel like there would be certain pairings of cards. And I think that there's this thing that you can't really see coming. And I think it is that you're going to see how this finally feels. You're going to see that when you're carrying this 10 of Wands, even if we're on the search for something creative or love or whatever, when we're carrying expectations or unarticulated needs, or, we have things like incompatible values, right? Like those types of big things that we bring to creative projects or to questions like, where is my inspiration hiding? Well, how can you receive an answer when you've got 10 of Wands Wands that you're carrying, and you're saying, well, I do have an empty cup. I promise I do. But like, you're in this place too, so it's really hard to even get the clarity of mind, right? This is almost like saying you don't have the clarity of mind, and all of these things are what you want, but then when you see it, when you see the reason why you haven't really been able to move forward is because of this 10 of Wands, lack of clarity in manifestation itself. I think that when that becomes clear, then you're like off to the races. You really get a lot more clarity. I'm just going to move this up here so that I can continue to pull here, because I'm very interested in this little side story that we have here. But this, I think that like leaning into Pluto energy is by no means easy. Like it doesn't even sound like, please lean into the depth and breadth of your own transformation. Like that sounds super great on paper, but then when you see what it involves, and like the thing is too, if you think about what's in this cart, right, this 10 of Wands energy, it protected you at one point. This could have been a shelter. This could have been food. This was like your life on the road to where you need to be, right? But the Hermit has to put down what they no longer need in order to pick up the light for others. And I think that you're starting to see that now. You're starting to see this a little bit, I think, just with the Moon and the Chariot. And I mean, you might see it like a little bit and then like whoosh all at once, which is it's great energy. Again, Tower, right? Parts of the Tower in the Minor Arcana are the 10 of Wands, and I don't see the others, which is like 7 of Swords and I guess 3 of Swords, 5 of Cups, 8 of Cups, but the 10 of Wands here is like this real like whoosh, and then you're gonna know what to put down. But like I said, the Hermit cannot carry everything, right? The Hermit only has room for the light to carry and to hold that torch for others. And that knowing comes from the journey. That knowing comes from experience. That knowing comes from a whole bunch of other things. But I think it's like leaning into where this is taking you and just trusting, right? I get like you need to trust these two cards together with then the Moon and the Chariot. Like you need to trust in where you're headed and where you're going, right? Just to reiterate, Moon, Chariot, and 10 of Wands, you need to trust. Let me hold these up individually so you can see them. So that's the Moon there. I love the artwork on these cards. It's just beautiful. And then you have the Chariot. And then 10 of Wands. So it's just like you really are starting to see it. And I think that you almost feel like a little bit, not like pissed, but kind of annoyed, a little bit annoyed. This is how the 5 of Swords rings here, is like you've tried to manipulate your way through manifesting and finding this inspiration. And I think that we think of inspiration as something that like comes to us, right? That just arrives. But in some ways we have to nurture it. The 7 of Pentacles, we have to nurture it. And there's a transformative process, like from fear to fuel. Stand still and own your power. Stand still, right? So there's that stillness. And I think that the 10 of Wands, is a sense of stillness, right? That's the journey ahead of the stillness where you're like, you know what? Forget this. Like, I'm done carrying all of this. Yeah, 4 of Cups. Like that, there's a stillness that's needed to see the cup that's there. Spirit, can I get some more clarity here on this burning question of where Aries inspiration may be hiding, or just things related to their journey to finding this source of inspiration? I'm hearing it's a container within you. It's a container within you. But if it's too full of things already, you can't add more to it, which is kind of like the too full a cup mentality type, or like, aphorism, whatever. But yeah, Spirit, can I get some more clarity here, please and thank you? Yeah, see, that's, 9 of Pentacles. So you're getting there, I think. And Knight of Pentacles, again, we saw that at the beginning. Yeah, healing. And 5 of Swords. I think this is sort of like the impression that I get is that you went through this healing process with these emotions. You're working with them. You're sorting through, you're arriving at this Queen of Wands, which is a very inspired place, but also a deeply passionate place. You can't get here without first having to navigate this. This is on the bottom of the deck, and I feel like this is kind of where we're moving away from, because I was going to put it down, and then I looked up, of course, because I'm tarot nosy. And it's only because I get so excited. 444 in the form of 1444 on the time. But this, so 9 of Wands is, to me, this is like a reflection of the Hermit, right? It's and the Queen of Swords is as well. So in the minor arcana, I've said this before, there's reflections of the major arcana, and in terms of the way I read it is how it shows up in the everyday, right? So the Hermit may show up in the everyday in the forms of ways that you gain wisdom and things that you gain wisdom from, which can spread the entire variety of a tarot deck, right? But the Nine of Wands, so it's sort of like this light, right? Like, are you being led by defensiveness and kind of being frustrated with the journey, or are you being led by wisdom? And then the Nine of Pentacles is also a reflection of the Hermit, because this is another form of wisdom, right? So it's almost like you're progressing through. And the Knight of Pentacles shows up here. So we have the Knight of Pentacles, and then we have the Two of Wands, and Ten of Cups. Yes! I mean, like, if there's a way to end a reading, it's with a card like this. I mean, you can even end one in a liminal place too, but... And then there's the healing that's taking place, Four of Swords, and then Queen of Wands. So I really think that you are integrating this. And what I'm reading from this particular spread here, the way that all of this is laid out, Aries, is that your inspiration is hiding in the things that you may not want them to be. Like this Nine of Wands energy here. You may not want it to be in confidence because it may feel like it's just a little bit too easy. Like I feel like it may feel like it's a little bit too easy. But also you're recognizing that it's really not, it's not as easy as you may otherwise have thought. But I think that it's leading you in the direction of a kind of emotional fulfillment, and that's going to be the pathway that you have to take. That, like, following what you feel, which, like, where is your inspiration hiding? Well, how do you feel about inspiration? How do you feel when you're inspired? Inspired is a state. What about the feelings that you have around it, right? Like, how do you feel? And I think that when you get connected to that, there may be things that you need to heal, my lovely Aries, but like, look at everything that's being unlocked in the process of it. So it's almost like inspiration isn't hiding. You've been hiding. Inspiration isn't hiding. You have been hiding parts of yourself. And I think that stepping into that and planting those seeds, Knight of Pentacles can mean people, like the court cards can mean people coming in. I really feel like this particular journey for you, with this spread, there's an Aries out there who is more, it's more internal facing. It's more internally facing. Yeah. And you know, the Hermit didn't show up here, but I feel like there's wisdom that you're gaining by walking the path, right? And my understanding here is that it's, yeah, like inspiration hasn't been hiding. Like, how can you, like, inspiration is in these, the stuff that you've been carrying, right? It's tucked away in here. So like, if you, like, where is inspiration, and feeling like, well, it's not coming to me, where is it? And feeling like almost in a little bit of a victim state about it. Like, well, where is it? I'm so frustrated and feeling upset and, you know, feeling defensive, but defensive not in a way that's like wiser to the problems or conflict, but this is more so like, you're like, what's the password to get into my happy place, into my safe place internally? What's the password? And it's not a horrible thing, but I think that it is, in a way, I think that it's been blocking you from truths about where this actually is for you. And I think that that's where the kind of like the tower, the beta version is coming in, because you're really seeing with clear, like you're seeing very clear that like you have to stand still and own your power, and that inspiration isn't outside of you. And not every sign will read like this, but I think that for you, my dear Aries, like what a card, this card just absolutely captures this divine essence of your energy, right? This movement, but stillness, right? The Aries energy is so fiery and passionate and forward moving. But I think that we forget sometimes that we also have to be still to hear wisdom, right? The Hermit doesn't become wise because they are a Knight of Swords, running, charging forward. The Hermit becomes wise in the context of the entire journey, and when they go up the mountain and become still. The good news, Aries, you're coming down it, right? So just remember that inspiration isn't somewhere outside of you. I think that it's in this journey that you're taking, this healing, right? This healing. And I'm almost like, I get that there's not necessarily something that you reached for, right? Because I feel like in that journey, it's almost like you reached over here, right? You reached for something over here, and it's not like you dropped the ball or there was anything that happened. I think you were just kind of like, oh, that really wasn't it. That wasn't what I thought it would be. That wasn't, you know, the thing that's going to propel me forward. And then you find it, but it's a lot slower moving than you thought. Whoa. It's a lot, but this is also steady energy, right? So this is where we have to be still. And it's almost like being frustrated that it's taking so long, being frustrated that the thing that is the slower option or the slower route is the one that's going to give us the most, emotional fulfillment and subsequent healing, right? It's never, inspiration can come in a flash, but it's also not the fastest. And I think that your creative inspiration is hiding in you, right? I almost feel like, imagine this light. So it's like you look to the light in the palm of the Queen of Wands hand here, right? If you were to pull in real tight, I almost feel like this is what you'd see. You'd see this version of your higher self dancing with you, but only when you got still. So maybe this is just as simple as, for you, Aries, meditation and stillness. But I think that there's a more complex unfolding taking place here. And just remembering that, like, you can't 3D your way into 5D inspiration. You just can't. And it's taken me a couple years to figure this out. Oh, my third eye is itchy. It's taken me a couple years to figure this out, but you can't 3D your way into bliss. Like, you can get knocked in there because of the way that certain 3D things go in terms of low vibration and grief causing awakenings, but it's not sustainable. So I think that for you, it's your creative inspiration is coming from an unassuming place. And the dynamics of that are a little bit surprising, but I think, and this is where this face, the expression on her face is like, oh my gosh, it worked, right? Like, you're almost surprised. You're like, haha, look at this, look at the thing that I made. And you're really shocked to see that it was you going from fear to fuel, stand still and own your power, from fear to fuel. Because the other thing too is that if we're in constant motion, sometimes that's a fear-based activity, right? Sometimes that's fear-based. So I'm just gonna reach. I'm gonna reach over to. I'm gonna grab the Miracles Now deck by Gabrielle Bernstein and pull an affirmation for you from there. Spirit, can I get some clarification here from our wonderful Aries Creative Collective on this source of creative inspiration and their burning question here, please, and thank you so much. I can release ancient pain simply by feeling it. Ain't that the truth and the horror? I'm kidding. It's just the truth, and it's a beautiful truth. Because it's such a, like, feeling things is such a simple activity that we underestimate so much. And as an air sign, like, air, sun, and moon, and rising, I tend to be in my head a lot, but sometimes being in your feelings is really what you need. And that's where inspiration comes from, because when you feel something, it's moving within you, and you're keeping the container for other things, for other, emotions and experiences wide open. So, Spirit, this is this is the Notes from the Universe on Love and Connection deck by Mike Dooley. I'm just going to pull further guidance for you, my wonderful Aries team. Spirit, can I get some guidance for my Aries Creative Collective on their source of creative inspiration and where it may be hiding? You have what it takes. So just maybe it's a little, maybe it's a little bit of encouragement for yourself on the journey. You have what it takes. Always follow your heart unless it's been broken. Then you must lead it. So you must lead your heart, my dear Aries. Back into love, the universe. P.S. Did you know that hearts are never too big to mend, too small to rebound, or too tired to love again? That's a beautiful message. It's really hard to trust inspiration when we've been conditioned to, or when life has compelled us to not trust our emotions, because feeling is such a deeply connected piece of inspiration. So if we're not trusting our emotions, we're never going to be able to trust our gut or our inspiration and where it's coming from. So convince yourself, not others. The need to clarify, explain, or justify oneself in personal relationships is always self-serving. What's important is knowing the truth about why you felt the need, because it often points to insecurities that could be dealt with in more effective ways. Yeah. And that's like some mix of, it's almost like the lower chakra energies that are being kind of transmuted here. And I think that when you work on this, that's where like the from fear to fuel. I think that that's sort of the journey that you're taking here, inspiration wise, is like you're going from that fear to fuel, and you know, convince yourself, not others. You don't have to convince anyone else about this, you know, inspiration and where it's taking you. You've just got to work on you. You've just got to do you. You know, like that's it. And it seems so easy because it's so complicated to remove the barriers that we've created against inspiration because we're so worried about what others will think or how they'll receive us. Um, but nonetheless, this is your, you know, burning question, the first of many. You know, where's your inspiration hiding? Well, Aries, I think it's been in you all along. I think it's been in you all along. 2525 was just on the time. And I think that it's feeling and inspiration are kind of one and the same for you right now. Feeling it doesn't just heal it. Feeling it also allows you to see through your heart, which lights a freaking blaze in your work and everywhere else. 10 of Cups. So lean into that, my dear Aries. There are many. So if this resonated for you, please feel free to like and subscribe. It helps me to grow the channel and continue to do what I really enjoy, which is spiritual guidance, tarot, and more. So there are also other ways that you can connect with me throughout the week, throughout the months, through daily readings and more. So feel free to check out those if they resonate for you and you are so inclined. But if this is where we part, I hope you have a wonderful day, Aries. Take care.